It's time for the Fox 19 and Kerry Toyota Reds Wrap.
Well, the Reds' 6-game winning streak was only briefly interrupted last night in Philly. Back on track this afternoon at Citizens Bank Park with a big 10-0 win, thanks in large part to a beauty of a game from Bronson Arroyo. It's great to have you along for our Reds Wrap post-game special here on Fox 19. As usual, to my left, a regular contributor to our Reds coverage on these post-game specials, John Arardi from the Cincinnati Enquirer. We'll get his thoughts in just a bit, but also included in our cast of thousands here at Fox 19, Joe Danneman. We put him out on the street tonight. Downtown, Joe, first, where are you and your initial thoughts on this win?
Well, Brian, you know we like to have a caravan, just like the Reds do when they hit the road before the season. They take their big stars out in Reds country. We'd like to do the same thing with Fox 19 where the Reds are on Fox National Game of the Week. We are at 7th Street downtown at a bar named Locals. Now, we've taken this to the Holy Grail downtown last season, also the Oak Tavern in Oakley, and even Shooters up in Loveland. But we wanted to find a new place. This place opened just last year before the playoffs. This would be their first full season of baseball, and a pretty decent Reds crowd here on a Saturday night when it's really nice outside. Sometimes hard to get the Reds fans around the TV, but you wonder how many fans here and how many fans at home watching on television were worried about the Reds winning games in Philadelphia. They opened Citizens Bank Park in 2004, and in the 9 seasons of baseball in Philadelphia in that ballpark, the Reds have only won there 11 times. You can make it 12, and Brian, you asked me my thoughts on the game. I would have to say this might be the best all-around game the Reds have played, at least in a while, if not all season, to blank the Phillies 10-0 inside their own ballpark. Next time you see me here, interesting stat that ties in road wins and World Series titles. That's coming up later from here at Locals. First, let's go back to Brian in the studio with the highlights.
All right, let's hit those highlights. We mentioned Bronson Arroyo. The Reds also with a big offensive afternoon against Philly starter Kyle Kendrick, who's won 4 straight games coming in. But in the second inning, Ryan Hannigan with a couple of men on base, up and out to left field. That's his first bomb of the season, and the Reds quickly have a 3-0 lead. In the 4th inning, Michael Young at the plate. Great hitter for the Phillies with a comebacker to Bronson Arroyo. The Gold Glover in the past. Arroyo recovers, fields it, gets the out. They check on Arroyo, who was also hit in spring training. No surprise if you know Bronson. He stays in the game and is just fine. And evidence of Arroyo being just fine, that's Delmon Young going down on strikes, and Arroyo had quite a few of those. Later, in the 6th inning, the Reds still lead by 3. They get a 4th when Zach Cozart finally gets off the schneid, doubles down the line and right. It scores Hannigan, and then after a passed ball and a sac fly made it 6-0, the Reds extended in the 8th. That was Todd Frazier bringing in Brandon Phillips. And then Donald Lutz with a big gap shot to left center field, doubles in Frazier to extend the lead to 8-0. And the Reds go on behind Bronson Arroyo's 7 2/3 of shutout ball with 6 strikeouts, and they blank the Phillies. Final score at Citizens Bank Park is 10-0. And John, your initial reaction? There were missed opportunities, as there always are in a game for the Reds offensively, but the pitching and the hitting, especially the middle of the order today, was there.
2 immediate thoughts. One is you got to love the 3-run homer. And 2 is how come Joe always does his bit from the bar and I always got to come to the studio.
Exactly. You know, Joe, he's earned that right over the years. But when we watched Bronson Arroyo today, he's a guy that's on or off. And when he's on, he's usually pretty strong. Today, he would think was a step above that in that he got to 100-plus pitches and got to the 8th inning.
Yeah, he's never really let up. I noticed when he first came over here how much I love to watch him pitch because he's so much smarter than the hitters. He makes hitters look like idiots. And he did it again today. He's got that great curveball. You saw him take that hard shot up the middle. And he talked about that the other day, how hard it is to get out of the way. He definitely couldn't get out of the way of that one. But he's a Gold Glover for a reason, picked the ball up, made the nice throw. I love the guy because if you recall that one game, I think it was in 2010, where the Reds struggled in Philadelphia. I think he pitched the one good game that they had. Even though overall he hasn't pitched well in that ballpark, in a big game, I want him on the mound. He's still got his stuff, and that's why he's in the rotation.
That's right. He had 6 strikeouts in the game, just 2 walks, and at one point had a 6-pitch inning. He was that efficient this afternoon. Let's check out our Hyundai play of the game, and no surprise, it's what kick-started the Reds offensively. Ryan Hannigan with one in his wheelhouse. He spent some time on the disabled list with the oblique and with the thumb, He's back, and that's his first jack of the season. Reds win 10-0. We're back with more on a Reds Wrap post-game special after this.